Graham Beadle, your host as per norm, and I'm joined right now by Terry Striker, wrestler for FPW and other feds around the country. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with all your work.
None worth mentioning, if I'm completely honest.
That's humble. I wasn't expecting that as a first port of call from you. Right, if I can just ask a few questions, the usual bits and pieces first off.
Of course.
How did you first get into wrestling?
I got into wrestling through mixed martial arts. I was doing mixed martial arts and I had a few professional matches and I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't giving me the excitement that I wanted it to. And a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, was doing professional wrestling and he said come down and try it out, and I said, well, I'm not too sure, and then when I gave it a go I really enjoyed it, so I took the swap from mixed martial arts to professional wrestling.
So the training aspect for you probably wasn't as much as someone else getting into the industry for the first time.
No.
You obviously got a lot of the ground knowledge and what have you.
Yeah.
Where have you done your wrestling training though? So it's because obviously you've got there are still differences between the two. So where have you done your training?
I've been very, very lucky, I think, with my training, because I've trained under many exceptional trainers. I started off training under Justin Richards at the Justin Richards School of Wrestling,
right,
for a year and a bit before unfortunately that finished up. I trained at Dropkicks with John Ritchie as well. Then I was fortunate enough to train under Greg Burridge at London School of Lucha Libre, as well as under Tom Chamberlain at the moment at the IPW school. Right, okay.
You went over to 4FW, I believe, the other day for a guest training session?
Yeah, that was
amazing. Want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Jinsei Shinzuki, he was absolutely amazing. He's a very, very deep man, and he taught us the art of wrestling without wrestling, almost like Bruce Lee, the art of fighting without fighting. And he taught us the art of wrestling without really wrestling, and I've learned an awful lot from that.
That draws a lot away from the thing that a lot of people associate, the sort of the pantomime as such of British wrestling. No, that's a completely different outlook as such.
Yeah, definitely. He was absolutely amazing, and the things that he has taught me have made me a better wrestler tenfold in just a 3-hour session.
Wow, that's high praise. I don't think it gets any higher than that, to be honest. Right, if we can talk about obviously where I know you from, the guys over at FPW. Now we've got a very close relationship with the guys there, Steve, and not too close before anyone wants to make comments. Jack, thank you. We've got Steve and Lee and Matt over there. We're looking to get involved with their commentating on their DVDs that they're producing. Now, I've got a few issues with you about some of the stuff going on FPW. Now, obviously, within the wrestling, there's always feuds and goings on. But I've got a real issue with you personally on the fact that biting the hand that feeds. I mean, Matt Burden, he's your boss, so to speak, and yet you've still been incredibly critical of him. About the fact that he's not prepared to put his money where his mouth is and being a keyboard warrior and so forth.
Excuse me, Beadle. Disrespectful. Utterly disrespectful. This is a legend in the making. If you don't mind, it's lovely to meet you, Terry. Can you just leave it to a professional? Come on, get out.
Yeah, this is getting a bit of a regular occurrence, me getting kicked out here, isn't it?
Thank you for that, Jack. I appreciate that.
You're more than welcome, Terry, and may I say it's an absolute honour to meet you.
Oh, thank you very much.
I've seen you in the ring, and I'll start that again. I've seen you in the ring, and I'm impressed.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
So tell us about this. I've met Burden, and what a whelp he is. Tell us about your problem with him.
I want to tell you before that, actually. I want to tell you about how he put me against someone who is just an outright cheat, and that's Phil the Warden Ward, who, for however you feel about Phil and whatever you want to say about him, he's a cheat, he's a sneak, but he's a winner. And I learned 3 very hard lessons from him. I tried to be the entertainer. I tried to make sure that I was doing everything for the crowd. Do it for the crowd. That's what Matt and Steve and Lee said to me. Go out there, Terry. Do it for the crowd. Do it for your kid pride, Terry. Do it for the crowd. All right, yep, okay, no worries. And then every time, Phil hits me in the head with handcuffs, and that's a tough blow to come back from mentally and physically.
And this is what I've said time and time again. If a wrestler is grandstanding to the crowd and too worried about what the crowd are thinking, you're on a hiding to nothing.
Absolutely. I'm pulling off high risk manoeuvres, trying to impress the crowd. Really, I did a top rope senton and missed because I was too worried about the crowd being entertained. Got hit in the head with a pair of handcuffs, and that was it. That was the final straw. And as Beadle quite rightly says, Matt Burden is my boss at FPW, and what has he done about that? Nothing.
Quite right.
First and second time, he said to me, you can have another opportunity against him. And I asked him, well, what are you going to do to ensure he doesn't cheat? And he goes, I have every faith in you, Terry. And, you know, I have faith in me as well, but, you know. So I learned a lot from Phil Warden. And
would you say that it's increased your ruthless streak?
well, I've learned that actually it's not about the crowd, because the crowd will boo and they will cheer no matter what's happening.
Because they're idiots.
Because they're idiots, exactly. And I'm going out there for me, because at the end of the day, it is for me, it's for no one else.
Quite right.
In 10 years' time, when I might retire from professional wrestling, no one's going to remember Terry Striker 10 years after that, 10 years after that. But I will remember.
I think you're selling yourself short, Terry. I think you're selling yourself short. I think if you carry on the path that you're on, I've seen an increase in your ruthlessness and your drive to win, and I think you'll be surprised. I think you're going to hit the heights.
I will win at any cost, and I will do what it takes. If I've got to cheat, beg, borrow, steal, I'll win.
Good.
And
it's good to know.
July 22nd at FPW at the Wellington Hall, I'm going to beat Rob Cage. I'm going to beat him again, and I don't care what Matt Burden says he's going to do or what type of stipulation match he puts me in. If he wants to get in the ring and wrestle as well, I'll give him a beat down as well. I'm not interested. But I know for a fact he's too much of a coward to actually do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever do get the chance, give him a closed fist for me, would you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. What he doesn't realise is that, you know, my name's Terry Striker, and I am a striker, and I will strike back hard against those who try to do me wrong. Simple as that.
Yeah, that burden is coming your way. Terry, it's been an absolute honour.
Thanks, Jack.
And a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the ring Sunday.
July.
Seeing you.
Not this Sunday.
Not
Not
this,
this. No. July 22nd.
July 22nd.
July 22nd, FPW, Wellington Hall.
Awesome.
Welcome back for the second half of part 5 of the Demon's Pit. We're joined for the second consecutive show by Jimmy Havoc, who been booked an awful lot, we see.
I have.
Pretty busy guy. I mean, the Book Havoc campaign, which you saw running along the bottom of our thing and pretty much everywhere on Twitter, was successful. Jimmy, you wrestled at Progress yesterday.
Yep, a match of Progress.
Biggest pop of the day.
Biggest pop of my career, that was.
Biggest pop of the career.
Yeah, it went really well. I was really pleased with it.
It was a bit odd in some ways in the match. I'm used to booing Danny, and he was playing fair, but you two really tore it up at times. Didn't like the way you got thrown through the air with those suplexes. They looked like they hurt.
Yeah, my neck's kind of feeling a little bit today.
Yeah, and head by all accounts.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
That's the drinking though.
So back on the next card.
Yes.
Do we know, have there been any words from Jim and John about who you'll be facing?
No idea yet.
No idea.
No.
But we have it that, you know, 1 match, 2 match, this could be a thing. Next thing you know, it could be there's a staff in hand.
Definitely. Because I'm really good. Really good.
You've got to stay quiet during this, remember. This is our section.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Why is he even here?
We were filming some other stuff.
Well, he should off, shouldn't he?
Well, yes, there is that. There is that.
I'm the cool one. I'm the biggest part of this show.
No, your belly's the biggest part of it. So.
See, this is the sort of stuff that I don't say, but it's nice to have someone actually going to say it. Now, you've recently been number of federations elsewhere, you know, shows in Swanley, but you've also been doing stuff up in Scotland.
Yep.
Now, you touched briefly on it. I don't know anything about ICW. I didn't have Sky. I've got, you know, one of the people with stupid enough to have Virgin. So we don't have channel 217 or whatever it might be, 219. Now, you've obviously been on TV. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about ICW?
No, I didn't get on TV because we got banned before my episode got on telly, unfortunately.
So you didn't actually get any coverage on TV?
Nothing on telly. But ICW have just signed an iPay-per-view deal
right.
with, I can't remember the company's name is, but we'll put a link in there.
Is this the guys that are doing the ROH
They do Evolve,
pay-per-view? Right, okay, yeah.
Gate USA.
Okay, so it's Gabe Sapolsky's company.
Yeah.
Right, okay, awesome. They've put on really good internet pay-per-views. Now, there are a few firms that do this, and there are streaming issues with a lot of them. So if they've signed up with them, that's a real coup.
Yeah.
Because they are probably the top outfit covering mixed martial art and wrestling feds. So real coup for ICW.
It's just £6.50 for all you fans. Get to see me wrestle on your computer. It's really good.
That's probably, you know, cheaper than, well, that's like a week's wage for up in Scotland, isn't it? That's £6.50.
No comment.
We did actually plan to have Noam Dar talking to you today, as we mentioned earlier on the show.
Yeah, because I've got him at FPW.
You have 22nd of July. I said www.futureprowrestling.com.
Yep.
Jimmy's the head trainer there, as discussed last time. How are you preparing for the match against Noam?
Lots of battered Mars bars, deep fried Mars bars.
Awesome.
Iron brew, obviously,
Right.
is really important. I think I need to get into his mindset, and I need to eat and drink these things to truly understand the Scottish person.
I mean, one of the main reasons he's not on today's show, I mean, we did speak to him up at Progress, and he agreed that he would come on. I mean, one, he was a little bit apprehensive because he needs a while to sort of like collate his thoughts,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely,
even to form a coherent sentence. And secondly, we didn't have the subtitles set up. Now, you know, it's a bit like when they showed Train Spotting over in America and they had subtitles. We obviously need the same thing, that, you know,
obviously.
people wouldn't have a clue what he's saying.
Disrespectful.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm just sort of taking a leaf out of your book. This, for once, you know, I'm having a segment that's mine. Okay, without your interference.
This is where we lose viewers, you know.
No, we've got Jimmy Havoc
Look,
on the
just
show
don't
again.
start slapping each other. All right? It's not worth it. You'll fall out.
You shut up, Spoon Boy.
Spooning. Yes, what happened
I'm
with
going
it?
to cut you. All right? I've told you that already. I'm going to cut you.
I'm not scared of you.
The spoon.
Yes.
Why was that even in your knee pad?
Force of habit, I guess.
A spoon, though.
That's all I could find backstage.
Right. Okay.
There were no knives.
There was no knives or forks. Right.
Just
Okay.
a big spoon.
Yeah. I mean, that obviously went for a bit of comedy stick with you guys, and even with Mr. Roberts.
Yep. He wasn't happy. He didn't want to join
he
in.
didn't seem like he
Didn't want to
wanted. He was
join in.
reluctant for part of the threesome, but yeah, entertaining. I have to say, really did get a chuckle from pretty much everyone there. Even Jack laughed, which
Yeah.
was, that's yeah. So
Makes a
that is yeah. You know, it wasn't that. So no, really pleased that things are going well. Have you got anything else other than the FPW, ICW, and Progress? Have you got anything else lined up at the moment?
I do Lucha Britannia.
Right, of course, yeah, and that's as El Transexico.
Yes.
Weirdo.
It's a just different kind of wrestling. Okay.
I really don't like him.
No, I know, and understand.
Feelings mutual.
Why have you given him a job?
He does artwork. Also.
Oh.
It's like freebie.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't- yeah. I mean, it's, you know,
Yeah,
so
it's
we
fair
need
enough.
stuff to sort of promote things, and he's quite good at that. That's all.
His stuff isn't that good though, to be honest. Right.
No, I mean, it's the manga stuff I've had done recently is quite nice, and it's like, you know, far supersedes anything that he's.
I've seen better.
Yeah. Sorry, that's awful, but it's just nice to see him get his
I'm going.
comeuppance. You're going, good. The door's just over there.
Miss you.
Bye. So yeah, we've got Lucha Britannia, FBW, ICW, and you've done some other stuff recently as well, but we're not going to bring that up. For the
No,
moment.
it's very best not.
That's not okay. I'm impressed. I'm impressed at the rise of Havoc. I think we're going to have that as a hashtag. I really think, you know, book Havoc work, the rise of Havoc, and we can start doing a regular feature, even when you're not, you know, you can't make it down at lunchtime. We're going to have a regular feature about showing, you know, a little showcase of what you've got going on. I think that's.
It's about time. I did get a nice tweet from someone the other day saying I'm like it was the FF, some up and coming UK wrestlers.
Some
And
up and coming?
Yeah.
After 8 years.
I've been wrestling.
Yeah.
Up and coming, apparently. Cheers.
Well, I mean, you know, I've been hearing some feedback from Marmot recently, who's been really, by all accounts, suddenly made a big leap forward.
He's doing all right.
He's now being booked for a show in September.
Yep. apparently.
So we're booking a show in Maidstone, and he will feature on that along with some of the other local talent. So really hope things that carry on going well with you and him on that score. Terry Fraser has agreed to turn up for this event. So
What
that's
date in September?
the 23rd of September. It's actually going to be part of Demon Con, which is the show that you wrestled at for us last year. And it's going to be Demon Con in the day, a brief break while we tidy up the place and get rid of the artists and what have you, because we don't want artists hanging around.
They're all idiots.
Because
anyway,
a lot of them are Burks, to be honest.
most of them are right, but it's just that.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a show.
Sounds good.
So we're going to get some talent and see what we can do.
Right.
You're absolutely. I mean, yeah, we book Havoc booked.
Oh, wicked.
So yeah, sorted.
I like getting booked before we discuss wages, because that means I can have whatever I want.
Negotiable wages. Yeah, artwork, comic, and a beer maybe.
That's more than I usually get.
Yeah, okay then, that's fine. Then we're sorted. Okay. thank you ever so much for coming on, Jimmy.
Well,
and
thank
so
you,
sorry I've
mate.
kept it brief. I'd like to think that I've been a little bit more respectful towards you. The
Than he
respect that you're
was.
due than he is. Yeah. And hopefully we'll, like I said, we'll have the Rise of Havoc. We'll have that as a regular feature.
That's really good.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Bye.